What is the best video game soundtrack? I think it's been too long since a good Halo game has come out, because there's always a distinct lack of Halo at the top of these threads. Even here I had to scroll way further than I should. Too long since a truly great Halo soundtrack too. So many people say that 5's was great, but it really wasn't. Too brassy and reverby, full of annoying, repetitive string lines, and a total lack of emotional resonance. People seem to hate Halo 4's soundtrack, but it's much better. It had so much impact in comparison. I also feel like a lot of moments from Halo 4's soundtrack would have sounded more like the soundtrack to the original trilogy if the mix were different, and people would like it more that way. As is, the brass got pushed to loud again, and the whole mix is overly loud. That said, the soundtracks to the original trilogy, Odds, Wars, I Said It, and Reach are spectacular. The new guy's musical direction on Infinite really grabbed me in that trailer too. We hope for the best. The music of Halo 1, 2, 3 were iconic masterpieces. Loved the mysterious, ambient sound of combat evolved to the rock and electric guitar badass vibe of Halo 2 to the orchestrally epic and piano richness of Halo 3. Odds had a neat ambient, jazzy vibe and Reach had a depressing, yet hopeful tone, and also took a more ethnic approach to the sound and melody of some pieces. I really enjoyed Halo 4, and it brought a bunch of new themes to the franchise I enjoyed. 117. To Galaxy. It managed to sound different, but also be familiar enough to still sound consistent in the same universe. Halo 5 was also quality, but was too cinematic and grand for a Halo game. Awesome soundtrack, yes. As a Halo soundtrack, average. Overall they are the soundtracks that I grew up with and always will be special to me. Just every game Bungie makes has godly soundtracks. I'm regularly listening to the Destiny soundtracks. Not even playing, just listening. Final Fantasy VI. You can laugh at how the opera songs sound, but Nobuo Uematsu is such a badass composer that he put out an orchestral album for that game with the actual opera, sung by a real opera singer, and the rest of that soundtrack gives me goosebumps. Even the MIDI files are amazing. All the character themes fit each character perfectly. Dancing Mad is also the most epic of boss battle songs. I scrolled through dozens of comments just to find this, only to find out it has no replies. That game is fking awesome and soundtrack is otherworldly too. No other Gapointy has touched my feelings so much. I'm in the same boat. Thought it was only a matter of a couple of comments before I see it, only to see a measly 2 comments for it. I've got a bunch of the songs saved on my phone, a lot of them bringing back whatever feeling I had in the game when it was played. Underrated. The original Mass Effect trilogy. Me 1 had some great themes but it really took off in Me 2 and Me 3. The entire score from Me 2's Arrival DLC is so good. Also, FF14. I enjoyed the music through the whole game. But they absolutely hit it out of the park with the latest expansion. It's really some of the best quality music I've heard recently, and up near the top of any game I've played. The Suicide Mission and Leaving Earth tracks are my absolute highlights of the franchise. Also, let's not forget about Uncharted Worlds, which is the map screen track. I know people were complaining a little about the difficulty of Eternal, since it's not quite the unstoppable badass gameplay of 2016, but personally there's nothing more gratifying than being faced with an unstoppable, obscenely massive wave of demons and still slaughtering all of them while that soundtrack plays. It's one of the best experiences I've had in a video game recently. You are unstoppable when you know how to play. Bloodborne over Souls by far. Sony backed that game's soundtrack with the full expertise of its musical empire and it shows. The live recording of the choir and orchestrals is absolutely haunting to hear. Gascoigne. Damn when the track shifts, when he turns into a werewolf, that like industrial percussion shit in the background. The first time I heard it, I was shaking, I was so scared. HLM introduced me to what I can firmly call my favorite genre of music, synthwave. Before HLM I always lied about my favorite kind of music, because I just kinda liked everything besides some country and rap. Now I can say what kind of music is my favorite with confidence. If anyone happens to read this comment, some artist recommendations I have are Carpenter Brut, Dynatron, Jordan F. Kavinsky, The Magic Sword, Mega Drive, Miami Nights 1984, Mitch Murder, The Midnight, They Are Fantastic Live, Perturbator, MOON, Dance with the Dead, and Lazarhawk, adding Gunship by popular demand. Also check out the Astral Throb channel on YouTube for playlists featuring a massive variety of artists. My favorite playlist is probably Quasar. Edit, I accidentally a word. Edit 2, plugging r/outrun for music and aesthetics. I'm in the same boat. I hadn't heard of all the bands you listed, and I love a few that you listed. Thanks for the recommendations. As a DM I use the Magus battle theme more than I'd like to admit, especially for BBEG fights. The other day a DM from another campaign used Lean's Square theme for a festival we went to, and for Curse of Strahd I use the Magus Castle Eerie theme for environmental creepiness, and Shallow's theme for mysteries. And look, I could go on. The point is it's an incredible soundtrack, and now I have Frog's theme in my head, and I'm okay with that. Mia, Automata. Edit, wow, my first award, and all I did was appreciate an amazing game. Thanks for all the positive replies. Edit 2, oh my lord, you people are insane. I'm glad so many people love this soundtrack as much as me, and the game itself is just as good. Anyone out there who hasn't played it owes it to themselves to experience it. Thank you for the awards, upvotes, and amazing positivity. Silent Hill soundtrack. I can't believe you are the first comment in like 500 so far that has mentioned it. Akira Yamaoka is in a whole other league. He literally played Silent Hill's soundtrack with a symphonic orchestra. I'll never forget the first time I listened to Lisa's theme. Hauntingly beautiful. Hell, now I feel like playing Sh2 again, just to listen to the ambience music. Sonic 2 on Sega Genesis. The 16-bit era had a unique sound because the sound chip was limited. It's simulated a lot these days along with the graphics. Maybe this is cheating, but Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It's a combination of dozens of the greatest soundtracks of all time. The original music is amazing as well. World of Warcraft for sure. Even if the gameplay isn't like what it used to be, the one thing they always do right is the music. Some of my fav pieces include Invincible, the WoW Dialogent screen music, Borderless, Desarela, Kunley Summit, Nagrand, and Torren Wastes, and so much more. The game has literally days worth of amazing music, and they always manage to get the right music in the right places and displays a whole range of emotions, ranging from peacefulness, Nagrand and Kunley Summit, grandness, Desarela and Borderless, action-packed and epic, and Torren Wastes, or outright heart-wrenching, Invincible. Even for those who don't play, or just quit WoW, I highly recommend listening to the music. There's always one track in a Fire Emblem game that gives me the chills. In Fates it's the final boss theme or themes, End of All. In Shadows of Valentia it's Twilight of the Gods. Three Houses, Between Heaven and Earth, although Apex of the World is very close. In Awakening, Don't Speak Her Name, by a country mile. In fact, that entire chapter was probably one of my personal favorite moments in video game history. But yeah, that whole soundtrack slaps. Difficult if not impossible to answer, for there are so many beautiful masterpieces in the game universe. Here are some of my favorite. Total Annihilation, very promising start for Jeremy Soule. I was just a kid and was so amazed by his work. Diablo 2 soundtrack by Matt Ullman was awesome too. He made a lot of research to produce such soundscape. Check Luthgarlin's soundscape for instance. Most Zelda games are amazing, especially those in Wind Waker Opus. World of Warcraft Vanilla. Before I give my opinion for the best, I have to give out some honorable mentions. Leisure Suit Larry 7. Love for Sale had a great soundtrack, even for it just being some background music. All of the music from the SimCity series is pretty damn good too. Upbeat, light, and jazzy. Descent 2 was good with its techno/metal feel. It worked really good with flying through mines and shooting up robots. The best though, I would have to go with a game called Submachine. I would hope that somebody here may know of it, as it is an amazing series that its creator, Matus Skutnik, took a long time to complete, but the wait for each installment in the series was worth it. The music just adds so much to this game that already has amazing art and a great concept, taking the player through so many places that make you wish you could really go there. If you've never heard of it or played it, I strongly urge you to check it out. Another Metroid 2 remake. A labor of love bit of copyright infringement that got hit with a C&D from Nintendo immediately upon release, when it should have been met with a fucking job offer that got everything right, especially the music. The soundtrack is really next level retro greatness. Also, Ori and the Blind Forest. The game wouldn't yank at the heartstrings nearly as much without its music, which perfectly matches the beauty of the visuals and story. There's a list. Couldn't choose one, sorry. Persona 5, Royal, Metal Gear Solid 3/PW/5 Batman Arkham City/Night Stardew Valley Witcher 3 Death Stranding Doom Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch. I have answered this question before, and my answer stays the same. Team Fortress 2. A wonderful talented orchestra with a beautiful brass sound paired with a killer bass, electric guitar, and hard drums. Phenomenal. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. If you would like to see more, feel free to subscribe.